Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So there's some words that have been going over and over and over and over again in my head since I heard Garrett J. White talk about them on a recent podcast, Warrior on Fire. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you know that Garrett was a big piece of the huge inspiration of this podcast, the Women Wanting More. That my husband went away to Warrior Week. We actually heard Garrett's message when he was on my husband Ed's podcast, The Chiropractic Philanthropist, in March of 2015. We started to follow his shit, started to follow some of Warrior's Way, and then I went to Warrior Week in July of that year, July 2015, and from there everything has begun to shift, and it's experienced some Warrior, and when Ed came back from that experience from Warrior Week, and it was just like, man, the changes we were seeing already, there is a different perspective, a woman's perspective to this, and that was really the big piece of the inspiration, the birth behind this podcast. So there's something that Garrett said, talking about his life, and very, very kind of, short version of this, Garrett had a huge empire, very successful, very wealthy, that all crumbled down to the ground in 2008, 2007, when the economy went to shit and real estate market dropped and everything just crashed, right? Lost everything and had to really build it back up. And so he said this, and I've heard Garrett speak so many times on the podcast, on videos, just lots, knowing of Garrett. And he talked about creating a movement out of the chaos. And so Wake Up Warrior was really created out of him just having to rebuild and figure shit out and figure out his life again. And so he really taught the tools. He created all of what he did for himself and is now teaching that to men around the world. He created a movement out of the chaos. And when he said that, create a movement out of the chaos, that is that phrase, sister, that kept repeating over and over and over and over in my head. And so I've asked my good friend Jill Ethy, who's also my coach right now, and I said, Jill, this keeps this saying, and I just kind of talked through it. It was maybe, 3, 4, 5 minute message. And I said, maybe because that's me. Maybe because I'm creating a movement out of chaos that was happening in my life. And Jill Vox is back and she goes, that's exactly it. I was about to say that, and then you said it at the very end of the message. Messaging back from your message. And what Jill shared with me, and Jill and I have known each other for over 2 years. She met me through a coaching program we were both a part of, kind of at the beginning of it, called Shield Maiden, from our former coach, Satem Anali. And she described to me how I was back then. And you wouldn't recognize, it's interesting, because I'm like, man, I wonder if Satem still has some of those, because we had video trainings, and and we would all be on the video, right? It'd be in a Skype or Zoom kind of thing, and I'm like, I wonder if I can still get that, because she's like, the way you appeared, the way you spoke, you were in chaos in your life. Chaos. Broken, but not totally beaten down. I still kept getting up, and I still kept getting punched, and just about to just stay down. Chaos. And as Jill kind of went on, she's like, that's one thing, because Jill is my coach also too, and we talk a lot about business, a lot about the message of Women Want to More. And she said, you know what, I think you have shared stories of stuff when you were in the chaos, kind of in the pit, in the shit, but you haven't really shared a lot of it for a period of time. And I was like, you know what, you're right. Right. I haven't shared as much as that as I used to, or kind of just have forgotten, you know what I mean? Just, you move past this, you're like, oh yeah, it was really it was the shit. I was in the shit. It was not the shit, as in it was good. It was, I was in the shit. And creating a movement out of chaos. And so I want you to know that you're going to be hearing more of these stories of this movement that really has been created out of the chaos of my life. And you're going to see even more understanding of this message that you hear on the podcast, that's in my coaching programs, at my live event, the Evolution, at one of my group coaching programs called the Sisterhood. I've got just a lot of amazing shit that is coming out, my online courses, and you're going to see some new stuff as well soon. Clothing, like this is all built out of the chaos. And I'm going to be sharing more of those stories. And the reason I'm sharing those stories is not to just air stuff or vent it. It's because I know, sister, that you are most likely in one of those stories. That there is something really difficult happening in your marriage. There's something really difficult happening with your health, with your children. And although our stories may not be identical stories, nobody's identical stories, it's your story, it's your life, your experiences. I want you to know that you are not alone, that I was where you were. That there was chaos. And there can be amazingness that comes out of chaos, that broken can be rebuilt, but you need to know the tools and how to get there. And so I'm going to work incredibly hard to get even more clear for you, sister. Because here's what women will ask me, well, how did you do it? My questions are kind of like, and I understand if they maybe sound like a little flippant or kind of like vague of like, hey, listen to the voice, or like, this will let you know, or this, or, and yes, it is like journaling. What do you want? Why does it matter? But we're going to go even deeper, sister, like deeper. And you need to make sure to like the Woman Wanting More Facebook page, because I'm going to start doing regular trainings there, at least a couple times a week, if not daily. And I'm going to be training you on how to do what I did. Now, I don't mean on how to create a message with Women Wanting More. If that's something that's what you want, then cool. But I mean like how to bring your marriage from roommate to passion, right? How to transform your body from sick to strong and lean. How to feel unconscious with your children to being present and focused and helping them create and accepting who they are. How to create income and revenue from the value and gifts you have to offer this world. Like how to do all this. So this podcast is coming at you not with a lot of those stories right now, because I simply wanted to put this message saying, it's coming. It's coming. And the second piece of this as well too is like, I get it if you are in a place of chaos right now in your life, that I want you to hear this, sister. You are not alone. And there is something absolutely incredible that can be built out of this chaos. This feeling you have of feeling lost and broken and not grounded and confused and stuck and like you're in a prison and you don't know where to go and you don't know what the right thing is to do. Like, I get all of it. I hear you, sister. And you're going to see me, not just here on the podcast, speak more of this in video. So here's your more tip for today. Very simple. Go like the Woman Wanting More Facebook page. You got to be on there because I'll be Facebook Living these trainings. And so that means you'll get notifications when the Facebook Lives come out. In addition, you're going to make sure that because right now also too, I'm doing something called 100 Days of Gratitude. I Facebook Live there daily already. The trainings I'm talking about will be different trainings. But I Facebook Live daily since January 1 of what I'm grateful for every single day. And I give you something to do from that Facebook Live, and that's called 100 Days of Gratitude. So like the Woman Wanting More Facebook page. In addition, there are still some journals left, but you need to grab yours right now. The free limited Woman Wanting More journals over at drkarenosman.com/free journal. You pay a little bit of the shipping. I take care of all the rest. Then I will ship that to you anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. And here's the deal too. You need to get on the Women Wanting More newsletter and be part of that tribe because there are things like, spoiler alert, a Shopify store that I'm creating with clothing for you to wear the Women Wanting More message and brand. My book that's coming out. Okay. Other things that really help to support this message and this movement. So on the newsletter, that's where you're going to hear it first, especially within the Shopify store that I'm creating. There will be limited edition, limited runs of each of the things that are created, which will be t-shirts and tank tops and sweatshirts and mugs and bags and journals. And then once they go, they go. Like, there'll be limited edition runs of them. So here's what you need to do. Go to drkarenosborne.com, opt into the newsletter. You're going to see that on the very first page. And I will also send the More For Action guide and a video training, which is teaching you how to start your day in power. So I will talk to the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborne.com/newsletter.